Why should you continue buying daily meal that is poor quality and does not enable your cow to increase milk production, while you can manage to formulate your own daily meal at home, which is a bit of quality guaranteed and has the sufficient protein content that is required to boost the milk production for your cow. Well, I'm Kelvin Oirimo from FarmWorks, and today we are focusing on how you can manage to make own homemade daily meal that is high quality and will enable your cow to boost milk production. Yes, and of course, that is the one that is cheaper and also tends to save you some coin. Now, these raw materials required for the daily meal are readily available in most of these animal feeds. And what you just need to make sure is that you check at their quality, because definitely the end product that you're going to make will highly be influenced by the quality of raw materials that you're using. So with that much said, let's look at the best daily formulation that you can make to create a good daily meal. I know most of you farmers have been asking on this daily meal formulation, so make sure you take a pen and a paper and you follow strictly. You need the following raw materials for you to make a good daily meal. You need a maize germ. Maize germ is responsible for providing enough energy for the cow. You also need wheat pollard, which also provides some extent of energy, though they also have some little amount of protein content as low as 10%. You also need wheat bran. Wheat bran is really responsible for the digestion because it mostly the fiber content and has also some protein levels of around 7%. You also need now sunflower seed cake. This one, it's a good protein supplement. You need this one to enable high milk production. Sunflower seed cake tends to have a protein content of around 28 to 30%. You also need cotton seed cake, which is also a protein supplement and that has a good protein of around 28 to 30%. You also need soya bean. This one is either dry or the soya. This one also has high level of protein content, the crude protein content of above 30%. You also need milled omena, and this is where we shall tell farmers it's not the ochonga, it's not the pink ones, it's the normal omena but now in milled form. This one has a high protein content, also good fat of above 50 to 60%. The only caution with this one is that you at least make sure you don't use a lot of it so that the smell does not transform into the milk. You also need high phosphorus mineral salt. Now, this mineral salt is the unga maziwa or maybe vital maziwa or the turmeric maziwa. Now, these ones tend to help in increasing milk and also providing the supplemental macro and micronutrients required by the cow. That is the likes of the copper, cobalt, selenium, calcium, phosphorus, okay? Then you also need a DCP. This is dicalcium phosphate. Now, despite the high phosphorus mineral salt providing this, they provide in small bits. So you giving the DCP, which has high calcium and high phosphorus levels, it will help in supplementing the calcium that is extracted from the cow during milking. And lastly, you need the most important thing of all, the toxin binder. This toxin binder tends to bite the aflatoxins that may come with all these ingredients and prevent any harm that may be caused by them. Yes, so this is the reason why sometimes if you change animal feeds from maybe one to the other, or maybe you may the same buyer but you feed on different intervals, you find that one tends to give a negative impact on the cow, maybe it starts to diarrhea, while others doesn't. It's because of the levels of aflatoxins. So it's really, really important for you to make sure that in your formulation you've added a toxin binder. Now, these are the mix ratios, okay? You need now the maize germ, 30 kilograms. You need wheat pollard, around 10 kgs. You need wheat bran, 10 kgs. You need sunflower seed cake, 15 kilograms. You also need cotton seed cake, around 5 kilograms. You also need soya bean, now this one, 10 kilograms. You also need omena milk for 12 kilograms. The high phosphorus mineral salt, you need 5 kg. The DCP, you need 2 kg. The toxin binder, you need 1 kg. Now, this sums up to 100 kilograms of good dairy meal. Okay, now the questions now comes: how should you feed this dairy meal? Feeding dairy meal goes with the production. You give as it gives back to you. Okay, so if your cow is producing, let's say, less than 3 liters or less than 5 liters per day, yes, per day, not per milking, per day, then this one you need to give it at least 2 kilograms of the dairy meal. And if it produces now more than that, then you'll be required to, for any increase of 3 liters, you add at least 1 kilograms of dairy meal. Okay, so if you are now producing 8 liters per day, you'll be required to give 3 kilograms of dairy milk per day. If you are producing 11 liters of milk per day, then you'll be required now to give 7 kilograms of dairy milk. So that's how it tends to work. So you increase as it increases milk production. Then also, and especially this one for cows which are at the first lactating stage, the 0 to 6 months, this one we usually say if it's producing, let's say, 10 liters per day, instead of giving it now 8 kilograms of dairy milk, you can opt to give it 12 so that you suppress it or stress it to see if you can push it further to increase the milk production. But for cows which are more than 1 year since they calve down, it's very rare for them to increase milk production in the regardless of the extent of the dairy milk that you give. And that's why we tell farmers, for the economic use and also for profitability, it's good to check the production cycle of your cow so that you observe you don't reach a point whereby you are feeding it more than it is producing, or a point whereby you're feeding it, but according to its own state, it cannot manage to increase milk production. Then the other thing, it's good now that once you've made this dairy meal, introduce to the cow just bit by bit, gradually, until now it comes and increases the milk completely. Now, if you have any question, make sure you drop them on the comment section. Also, don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so that you can be connected with our subsequent videos. Remember, we usually tell you this is the only way you can manage to help us reach as many farmers as possible. Also, don't forget to share this with the farmers in your groups so that we can manage to drive this cost of dairy farming in Kenya. Thank you, and let me see you next on our video on the factors that you should check when you're buying a good dairy cow. Bye.